Right, yeah, we'll be in touch.
What are wires?
Yes, you're listening to The Debrief. That's the name of the podcast. With Dave O'Neill here. I've got Luke Heggie in my car. He is True Blue comedy legend, a Sydney comedy legend. I haven't had too many Sydney comedy legends on the show.
Not a lot around.
Well, there's not a lot in Melbourne, where I live. So
No, it's not a lot anywhere, to be honest.
Now, come on, mate. Sydney's had a good tradition of comedy.
Have they? I don't know enough about it. Knew enough to not know enough.
Well, I was just talking to you about Peter Berner, and all the guys that started when I started.
Right.
So 25, 30 years ago. The guys in Sydney that started that time were Carl Barron, fair to say a bit of a legend, Gary Egg, James O'Loughlin, Peter Berner, Kitty Flanagan, Julia Morris. So there's quite a few of them.
Oh, there's plenty.
No,
when you put it like that, there's plenty.
But how long have you been doing comedy?
7 years.
Oh, you've done very well for 7 years.
Have I really? It's been a long 7 years.
Has it?
I mean, no, it's been fine. It's good.
You enjoy it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's good. I'm not jaded enough.
Are you doing comedy full time now? Surely.
Only just. I went and did a bit of building recently for a few days here and there, but generally I don't have to.
Are you a qualified builder?
No, I'm doing carpentry and labouring, so it's not. No.
So you never actually did the trade?
No, I didn't. But mostly, I mean, I could have done that, but that's a bit of a B plan loser thing to do. Not a loser thing to do at all. I'd love to be a builder, but I never committed to doing it because I thought, you know what, I'll be a good enough comic.
Yeah.
And that hasn't paid off. I wish I was a builder.
Look, if you're a good builder, you make good money. Then if you're a good comic, you'll be fine. Watching you tonight, we just did a gig together at the Basement Comedy Club in Melbourne on a Saturday night. Yeah. And you were great. And I reckon, you can be described a bit as a comedian's comedian. Because I know comedians always talk about you.
Yeah.
So when I'd see a comic during the comedy festival and they say, I'm going to see a show, and I always just think, I betcha it's Luke Heggie. And sure enough, like Nick Cody loves you, I just had on the podcast.
Yeah.
I remember Des Dowling was going to see you. Brad Oakes always talks you up, who's been on this podcast. Yeah,
right. I mean, it's great and everything, but they don't buy tickets.
Yeah.
So I'm fucked. Like it's lovely and everything to have the respect of your peers, but it's not that great when you've got a family to support.
Yeah, you'd rather be a people's comedian?
No, I'd rather be something in between.
Yeah.
Because if you're a people's comedian, you're probably a piece of shit because people are fucked. But
well, as Noel Gallagher once said, who wants to be number one? Number one is always shit. There's always a novelty song. He said you're better off being number two or number three.
Fucking number three would be fucking sweet as a nut.
I reckon number 25.
Forever.
I had this conversation with one of my friends the other day, and he's saying, you'd be in the top 10 comics in Australia. I went, no, mate, let's list them. I got to 20. I got to 20 comics. I wasn't even in the top 20. I think I made it to
top 20 what? That's a...
In terms of popularity.
Oh, okay. In terms of popularity, I'm fucking 200. Like, it's maybe 300. Who knows?
I think you're getting a following, though.
I'm getting a loyal but...
Because
fairly staunch, and I'm not telling my friends following.
Oh, really?
Where it's stagnant and it's fucking hard to just pay the bills.
Like my neighbours went and saw you, and again, they're the classic people.
Neighbours?
Yeah, he's a doctor and she's a lawyer.
You know your neighbours, you fucking
I know my neighbours. Yeah, don't you know your neighbours?
Man, I've evolved well past knowing my neighbours. I sleep 2 metres from someone that I don't know, and...
What, your wife?
No, that's like half a metre.
So you're sharing a wall with someone that you don't know?
Yeah, pretty much. And they don't want to know us.
But you've got kids. I mean, this is the thing, when you have kids, you tend to meet your neighbours, especially if they've got kids.
Yeah.
Or is Sydney different from Melbourne?
Sydney's very different. This is a fucking good indicator of Sydney. When I moved to Sydney, I'm from Brisbane, I moved to Sydney, and I went round to the apartment block I lived in and knocked on doors and introduced myself to people.
Yeah, they thought it was a home invasion? Or?
They thought I was a simpleton. and they'd open the door half an inch and go, who are you? You go, I've just moved into number 6. I'm just fucking saying hello. And they didn't want a bar of it. And since then, I've just thought, Sydney's not really the kind of place where you know your neighbours.
Is that
it's not.
Are you in the same apartment block or still?
No, I've moved off, but I'm still in apartment blocks. Obviously, I'm not a fucking billionaire.
Yeah.
And one time, this is the last apartment block we lived in, there was a fire next door to our place. And I went in, and there's a girl in there just stumbling around like a fuckhead, and I've pulled her out. I may or may not have saved her life. I don't know.
I think you're a
I
hero.
don't want to say I'm not a hero.
You're a hero to me.
But, whatever. And she didn't speak to me ever again.
What?
Well, that's so fucking Sydney. Like, she would cross the road to not speak to me. I think she was embarrassed that she set the place alight and stuff.
With a toast or something. Yeah, right.
I mean, my pyjamas were fucked afterwards.
Yeah.
But
see, if that... Yeah, I don't know. You'd think she'd thank you for that.
Well, you would think so.
Some kind of gesture.
But, fuck, I don't know.
Are there people with kids... I mean, do your kids go to the school down the road or...
My kids go to... No, they go to the next suburb. They go to the French school.
Oh, yeah, because your wife's French.
And quite different, the French school.
Man. How do they handle you at the French school?
Oh, I'm the only cunt turning up in shorts with paint all over it and bits of concrete on my boots and shit in a fucking 1990 car.
Sacre bleu, I think he's a tradesman. Yeah.
It's generally Lexus mothers in, I don't know what the fuck these people, they're like diplomats. And businessmen here on a 2-year deal, this sort of thing. There are a few exceptions, and they're great, but generally, I'm the grottiest cunt at school, without a doubt. There's me and then daylight to the next grottiest person.
Yeah, right.
Turning up.
Well, anyway, my neighbours, who I do know, because they've got 4 kids.
Yep.
They're similar. Anyway, no, they're nice people. Anyway, they went to see you because one of their friends was a big fan of yours, and I think it was because of that ABC special that you did.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you did one of those, I don't know, Next Generation.
New Generation.
And because I remember you told me that someone, was it the guy who ran the AFL or some dude, some hype, his wife loved you and got you to fly down and do their birthday party, or?
Oh, yeah, it was,
See, again, another fan of yours.
Yeah, that's the only thing I ever get is, it's great, but fans of your work, and they're very few, but they'll be loyal enough if you're just doing shitty your own stuff. Well, I did the Western Bulldogs opening.
Oh God!
At their house.
So this is the guy I'm thinking about. What's his name? He's famous. He's the CEO of the Western Bulldogs.
Yes.
He's a lawyer.
Yes.
He's the guy who set up Slater Gordon. He's
Peter Gordon.
Peter Gordon.
He's a very nice guy, actually.
Yeah,
his missus was lovely. And I did a gig on their grass tennis court, which doesn't sound great, and it could have gone better.
Did they have a microphone? Or?
Yeah, they did. And that was actually a result of, and this is fortuitous for comedy. It's the only thing I've ever gotten out of comedy is fortuitous, weird little things of where people have seen me. But Luke Beveridge, the coach of the Western Bulldogs.
Yeah, Luke,
And
I'm a Western Bulldogs supporter, apparently.
Peter Gordon were having a conversation. He'd seen me on something where I did a 2-minute spot on a TV show, which probably went shit, but he liked it, and then they got me on to do their fucking opening season party.
What was that like?
It was great, actually. It went really well. They were lovely people. And
salt of the earth, mate.
But the players were all solid fucking half a foot taller than me, and kids.
Yeah, they're young.
Like
they're
proper.
Young. Yeah.
The oldest one would have been half my age,
Yeah.
and that's fine. And they were all right. So you can take that. And the coaches and the older staff were fine.
Oh, they're great. That's the good thing about footy clubs. There's a big culture in Melbourne of doing gigs in footy clubs, and the local clubs are great because there's always guys my age, your age, and then the younger players.
Absolutely.
But I do the AFL clubs. I've done a few of them, and some of them, like Carlton, give you a list of what subjects you can't do.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like they're pretty full on.
I don't do a lot of corporates, but I get a couple, and I've never been asked not to do certain jokes, but when I'm on, I realise very quickly what sort of jokes I shouldn't fucking do.
You get the vibe.
Yeah.
You get that
but
vibe.
I mean, older people for me are my people, and people my age and older are the people who listen to me.
Yeah,
and
of course.
It's indicated a bit for me that I'm a bit old-fashioned, I suppose, or
well, you have jokes, but you got stories and jokes.
Yeah.
But also your staged view is of an older person. Oh, not an older person, just a person who's a little bit, annoyed by things, I suppose.
Absolutely. And when I first came down to Melbourne to do the comedy festival, it must have been 7 years ago, and when I first walked out, like 5 or 6 nights in, and saw just grey hair in the audience, I thought, I'm in trouble here. But they were great. Because the older, not the proper old, old-fashioned old, but like grey-haired people, for me, are my people. They are. If you're cool enough to come out on Tuesday night and watch comedy, and you're 70 years old, you're fucking all right by me.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not afraid to laugh. You're not too cool to throw your head back.
Yeah.
You fork out for a ticket. People in their 20s have been the bane of my existence since I started comedy. They have been fucking hard work. And
well, a lot of them are on their phones now too.
Oh,
They get their phones out and...
But I just don't care about them, and they don't care about me, and I'm fine with that. They're fucking less than half my age. They can eat my balls. I don't care.
Think about it too. I'm thinking of some of your routines, and the one I remember is when you talk about being a barman at a wedding. You talk that routine, which I just reckon a lot of people in our sort of middle-aged group really relate to. Where you're telling the mother of the bride to fucking calm down? Is that what you're doing?
Oh, yeah.
It was a while ago that I saw it.
Oh, the mother of the bride. It's it's not the most important day of my life.
Yeah, that's right. That's your vibe, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think you're saying a lot of things that other people are saying, and tonight you did a whole thing about the wellness, going to the wellness centre, which is just something which people, and they love that tonight. It was just something that people relate to.
Yeah, I would hope so. I would hope that wellness types aren't really going to comedy gigs. So in a way, it's a bit of an easy thing. But wellness would be something that I fucking wouldn't have fathomed 10 years ago.
No.
Like, what the fuck? What is wellness? It's ridiculous.
I read about how it was created. Of course, it was created in America.
Right.
Some guy wrote a book in California and came up with a term.
Pervert.
I think it was California. Pervert.
I mean, like your Bikram types.
Yeah. But there's always been that kind of stuff going on. It's just had a different name. It's just a different name.
Well, the different name is I want to root chicks and I'm a nerd and I'm going to create something to make that happen. It's fucking disgusting.
Start a cult. I'm going to start a cult. Get into it. Yeah, it's very interesting. But you also, this is one of the other things I've heard people say about you. You've got a very good a turn of language.
Yes.
Which is, the way you use tip rat, which I haven't heard anyone use that term for a long time.
Yeah, I fucking grew up 70s, 80s, much the same as you, I suppose. And
yes. Brisbane, where in Brisbane did you grow up?
I grew up in the suburbs of Brisbane, in sort of Kenmore, Indooroopilly area, and it was fine. We had a nice time. But
yeah, we all had nice
times. You heard a lot of words that you don't really hear anymore. I fucking love it. I really like to bring some back.
Oh, mate, you know what I always say? And people go, give it the fucking berries. I used to fucking love it. Give it the fucking berries, Gary. Yeah. I love all those old sayings.
Yeah.
But occasionally when you're doing a gig in the country and you'll hear some of these terms, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It's so good. I heard a woman say that on the street. She was talking to the woman who's our lollipop lady, this old lady, and she said, yes, I was hanging out with Margaret. I used to knock around with her in the 70s. I used to knock around with her in the 70s.
I find language really great. I fucking love it. And it can totally turn, in terms of comedy, it can turn a joke into a really good joke. If you've got a good phrase. Yeah, absolutely. A good two words together, or even one that's just been lost in the last 30 years, and bring it back, and fucking 5 people in the audience will love it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's... I'm not the guy who wants to have 2 people out of 100 like me. I don't care.
Yeah.
But fucking when it happens, you think, oh, yeah, good.
Yeah, it's
They're
good.
your 2 people. They're coming back every year for the next 100 years.
Yeah. So what did you do after school? Like, so did you... Go to uni, or did you do it?
Yeah, I went to uni. I went straight to uni, actually. I was really young when I finished school, and I went straight to uni at like 16, and then I fucking...
16?
Yeah, and then...
I was at uni at 17, but...
And then I fucking spent like 3 years there, and I did an honours degree, and I was all prepped up to be like an academic. I was like,
really?
This will be an easy life. I'll just do my PhD.
So what did you do? What did you study?
I studied business, marketing and advertising.
Oh my God, so you never picked that? You'd never picked that?
No, and then I started teaching in it, and then I was a tutor and a lecturer.
Oh my God.
Like, oh fuck, man, this will be alright. But then I went travelling at like 21, 22, and then just fucking never came back. And like 10 years later, I thought, I'll come back. I came back and I just didn't have a good time in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And I moved to Sydney. I'd met my future wife in my travels, brought her back.
Were you told that you were a successful academic?
No.
I'm doing very well.
I was a fucking nobody from 22 to, well, I still am, but sort of for solid 10 years I've travelled, and then I did a bit more travel.
Jesus.
And then did some with her, and then about 35 I started comedy.
Yeah, like
this is the longest I've ever had a job.
Yeah, right. What did your parents do for work?
My dad was a real estate valuer when I was a kid, and he went alright. He died when I was really young.
Yeah.
And then Mum has just worked fucking all sorts of jobs.
Yeah,
just
like a lot of the mums.
in school.
That's all my mum, yeah.
And recently she's retired, and she's great. She does some volunteering, and she's fucking brilliant. And has
Proud
a good
of
time.
you. Proud of you.
Well, yeah, and fortuitously has never told me, against, I'm sure, her best old-fashioned wishes, just to get a fucking job, you dickhead.
Yeah.
And because I've never really done anything for a long time, and she's been so supportive and brilliant, and I hope I can be the same for my kids. So she's got two brothers who are all very good and achieve well. Yeah. And I'm a loser. Like, I'm a genuine no, not really, but just a loser. Like, I've never really done anything.
Well, we're doing stuff now. You're on this podcast. I'm driving you to the airport where you're staying at the Holiday Inn, mate, on a Saturday night.
Living the dream.
You're fucking living the dream, mate. Yeah. So did you start comedy after you had children?
Yeah.
Yeah, that takes balls, I reckon, to do that.
Really?
Well, just because you've got a family, you've obviously got a partner, there'd be a bit of pressure from your wife, like, what are you doing comedy? Whereas when I started, I was 24, it was just like...
Yeah, right.
No one gave a shit. Like, you're not got no responsibilities of living in a shared house.
Yeah, I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages. The disadvantage is that you've got some responsibility where it's taken me 7 years to get to a point where I can pay the bills.
And but that's quite a quick rise in terms of, by what I observe.
It's
quickish.
Man. Not for the amount of work I've done. Like, 24-year-olds who start comedy are lazy little fucks.
Yeah.
And like they're not going to 7 years from then have written 7 hours of comedy and try to live off that.
Yeah, but you've got the motivation to do it.
Yeah, I do.
Whereas they'd be playing PlayStation.
But I also have the disadvantage is that I'm old. I'm going to start to look old soon enough, and people don't care. Like, it's just going to be. I don't know. Who
not
knows?
Necessarily. Most comics that are successful in Australia, and look at the UK and America, they're all middle-aged these days.
I know they are, but they started when they were 18.
And then
get to middle age.
Yeah,
they're fucking 25 years in.
Yeah, sure.
I'm hoping to be fucking 8 years in.
But watching you tonight, I would not picked you as 7 years. I would have picked you. I thought you'd been doing comedy about 15.
No. I fucking wish. I wish I had the balls to do it. But then if I had started 15 years ago, I would have been a comic for 2 weeks, and that would have been it. Like, there's no way I would have survived 50 shit gigs in a row and kept going. There's no fucking way I'm that man. I would have, even now, if I have 2 or 3 shit gigs in a row, I think, I should just give it up. It's not, I'm not doing this right. It's no good. But I just fucking wouldn't do it.
Oh, but I don't think you'd have that many bad gigs anymore.
I don't. I do have bad gigs, but
we all have average gigs too. Like ones where you just walk in and you go, Well, the odds are stacked against us.
Oh,
yeah.
those you write off. But I mean, like proper, where you should be going well with your good material and it goes badly, you think, oh, fuck, this is over.
Well, you did Falls today, the Falls Festival.
Yeah.
And how was that?
It was all right. A band started up about 3 minutes into my 20-minute set on the other stage, and I couldn't even hear how it went, so I don't know. I think it went all right. I don't know. And then when the other band stopped in the middle of they stopped singing, and there was 3 seconds break, I could kind of hear them laughing, but so that gave me a bit of heart. But I don't fucking know. Like you put yourself
festivals
out to fucking shit gigs, and you know what's going to happen. The ideal gig, of course, is your own, where people all know who you are, know what you're about, and come to see you. But that's fucking rare.
Yeah, and even then, sometimes 10 minutes into it, you're like, I'm fucking struggling here.
Yeah.
This is a Saturday night, the room is full.
Yeah.
I'm still, fuck, what's going on? Have these people, often then I think, maybe one person in that row is a fan, and they've brought on eight of their mates, and you've got to convert them during the... Which would like my neighbours with you, but they loved you, so...
Did all their mates, or they're like, oh,
yeah, they had a good time. They said you were very funny.
That's nice.
I think the guy used the words a little bit on the edge, so which is good to hear.
Oh, that's nice.
A little bit on the edge.
I mean, kind of, I'm not out to be a pioneer by any stretch. I'm just doing my fucking thing. But when you're neutralising an audience like a piece of shit, it's fucking. I don't do it, and it's the further I get into it, the more I'm polarising and losing people more than gaining them. And
but you're not a fringe you're mainstream though. You're not.
I don't think I've always thought myself as not a.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those crazy fucks who comes out and just fucking tells everyone they're
You're not Rage Against a Machine. You're more Midnight Oil or Cold Chisel.
I know, but in the sort of more modern climate, it's hard to be.
A bit edgy.
Yeah, you can't just say what you want without at least having a third of the audience go, oh, he said that word.
Well, like tonight, that audience, it's a great room, but there are a lot of tourists, and it is, you'd have to say it's a mainstream kind of crowd.
Yeah, it is.
And with nearly every comic, everyone got a bit of, ooh. Like
I certainly did.
Yeah.
And I fucking didn't, I don't really
I did, and I could see myself, less edgy than you, and I'm just like, oh, God.
I don't even like the word edgy. I think it's a contrived thing that people want to make themselves into. I don't strive towards being that. I'm just saying the shit I want to say. And when people take offence to that, it's fucking amazing that people will take offence to words to me.
Yeah.
Still, and I know this is an age-old sort of thing, but you think, fuck, what have I? Are you people serious that you are going to collectively turn against one person because of a set of words? Fuck off.
I don't
mind if
you're
it's
at a
not
comedy gig, you're just trying to entertain people. Just be entertained.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, you're listening to The Debrief with the great Luke Heggie, academic builder and comedian. Hey, this episode of The Debrief is brought to you by Sheba. It's a great rideshare app where all the drivers are women. That's right, every single driver is a woman. So set up your account by downloading the Apple or Android app, and multiple users can use the one account. Enjoy the one account. And also, this is a great idea for dads like myself. You can set up an account for your daughters. Corporate accounts are available too. Sheba also takes booking. It's female-only driving service. And Homie, they're a Melbourne-based social enterprise creating pathways out of homelessness. Do you know at the moment there's about 100,000 Australians live without a permanent address, and of those, 20,000 people sleep on the streets or in a makeshift shelter. Why not change this? Come on. Go to www.homie.com.au. Okay, back to the program. Now we are back on The Debrief with Luke Heggie. Check out he's got a great special. It must still be on iView or...
No, I think they're candid.
No, they're candid.
I've got a new one. I've got a new one that I filmed though, but
you can find him on the web.
Yeah,
look. He's certainly. I remember doing an ABC broadcast thing which I was hosting, and my partner was listening to, and she goes, "I love that guy, that Luke Heggie guy." So you are the sort of person that people sort of get onto that, and I think most people really like your comedy. like my neighbours, as I said. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I think if most people don't know you and they would have a look at your comedy, it is that great mixture of intelligent comedy, but also quite suburban.
Yes.
It's that mixture where you're not an idiot. You can tell. It doesn't surprise me that you were a former academic, but you have that great turn of phrase. You know, you combine those suburban, and also you do a lot of that observations where people go, "Oh, yeah, I should have thought of that."
Thanks for noticing. Thanks for observing.
Why didn't I think of that? Now, I've got some debrief questions. I ask every one of these. So what went well tonight and why at the gig?
What went well was probably my first little bit where they still had some trust, and the wellness centre where everyone's going to observe and everyone's going to relate to the fact that what the fuck is wellness? It's just a contrived new thing about health.
Yeah.
That should just be ingrained in all of us anyway, and wellness is just a way to commercialise that. Of course, everyone thinks that's fucked.
It's a great routine.
Yeah, thanks.
With the greatest line ever, which got like a laughter break of about 10 seconds where you said...
What?
I realised this guy that was treating me couldn't be a doctor. I can't remember what you said. For the same reason.
The same reason I can't be a doctor. I'm not a fucking doctor. I can't call myself a doctor. I'm not a fucking doctor. Yeah.
That got a laugh break.
It's chiropractors, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, I'm not a doctor. But what didn't go well?
What didn't go well was when they realised that I am actually the guy who looks down upon nearly everyone. Yeah. And they realised, oh, fucking hang on, that's me.
Oh, he's looking down at us.
Then you're fucked. And well, not only... Well, you're not fucked. You kind of just got to make them realise that they're pieces of shit, as they are.
Yeah, but people realise it's sort of not a character, but it's just who you are.
Well,
it's a comedy persona.
But also, like, you know, you get... In comedy, you get sort of shit canned for punching down. You think, where the fuck am I supposed to punch? There's nowhere else to punch but down. If you're someone...
Yeah, but you're not one of those comics. I've seen comics that go on and just hang shit on bogans, this, but, you know, and you're like... You don't do any of that. You don't do any class punching.
No, fuck. I get accused of that, but no, not really.
But you sort of...
I am a fucking bogan. I can punch wherever I want.
But you can tell...
I'm also above everybody, so I can just punch down.
Yeah, but you're a bogan who's done well. That's the difference. Where is the Holiday Inn at the airport?
I have to say, that looks like a green light.
I reckon I've done a gig here, actually.
At the Holiday Inn?
I reckon I've done some...
It's got to be close.
That's it.
That's a green light.
Seems to be boarded up.
That is it.
I reckon it's...
Fuck, I am living the dream. We're on a 4-lane highway and there's a fucking Holiday Inn.
But also, that you can just walk to your plane tomorrow.
Well, I will. Yeah.
This is gold. I've been to this. Why have I been here? I can't remember why I came here one time. I've been inside that building.
Can you imagine?
You know what? We did a radio show from here. We gave away tickets. When I did commercial radio, we gave away tickets to the airport, not to the airport, to a plane to go somewhere, like Queensland.
And the people stayed in the Holiday Inn?
Yeah, no, I can't.
Of course they did.
Something like that, yeah. I'm going to ask you 2 more questions.
Yeah, go on.
Stay here. Yeah, we'll just stay here. Were there any organisational hazards that got in the way tonight?
Organisational? Maybe a bit of sticky footing.
Oh, comedians doing too long before you.
Maybe a bit of fabulousness.
Yeah.
Straight before me, but that's unwarranted. Like, you can't can't count on that. But when someone comes on and is just so fabulous,
and they're meant to do 5.
They're meant to do 5. They do 10. But
this is the thing is, it was such a red hot crowd.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
But I felt like when I got on, I brought them down a little bit.
Well, you're not a high energy act.
No, but I don't know. Maybe I should be a high energy act.
No, you can't change what you are, mate. Don't worry about that. Don't change. And how can we do better next time?
Next time, I'll just probably bash a few audience members before I get on. And just go, you know what? This is what it's going to be, and I'm going to bash 2 or 3 of you just so you know what's about to happen.
Would have my introduction? Should I have done a better introduction? I was the MC. Could I have set you up somehow.
No, fuck it, no.
Here's the
I've
guy,
never-
Luke Heggie. He's down on the world. All right. He doesn't like you, but he's actually a really nice guy. He's a father of 2 small children. He's a really lovely bloke.
Fucking that doesn't matter to me. I mean,
No, they don't care about that.
then it's just that any old can't have children, do they? So it's I don't know. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. I can't bring back a bad gig. Not that it was a bad gig. It went fine.
No, you're good.
But I've never brought back a bad gig to a good gig.
How
I've gone
often
the other
do
way
you-
many times. But,
Yeah, really? How often do you I mean, how long do you spend thinking about a bad gig?
Oh, fucking minutes.
So you don't?
afterwards.
Does it affect you the next day? Or
No, not at all.
No.
Too busy. But I just sort of... Well, I don't generally have 2 bad gigs in a row.
No.
If I do, then I'll probably think about it and think, fuck, what have I done? Maybe I'm doing too much new shit. Who knows what's happened?
Yeah.
But generally, if you're a good comic, you're not going to have many bad gigs in a row.
No.
I wouldn't think.
And generally, if you have a bad gig, the next one will be pretty good because you'll be so determined to make it work.
Yeah.
I find that happens too.
I also can't do a run of gigs and think, fuck, like someone's given me a run of 5 gigs here. The first 3 have been great. There's no fucking way all 5 are going to be great. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, no.
Like if it happens,
Yeah.
you're a neutralising
Yeah.
fucking, I'm from Adelaide, everyone's fucking nice to be anywhere sort of comic. And so,
Well, I think sometimes if you have like 3 gigs in a night, which happens occasionally, or
yeah.
one of them's going to be average.
Oh, fucking never had 2 great gigs in a night.
Interesting stuff. Now, I've got to let you go. There's a great Holiday Inn. Now, we can play a song, though. I always drop a song at the end. What sort of music do you like?
Oh, well, after, I don't know if you relate to this, but after having kids, I pretty much dropped off knowing
Music.
new music.
Yeah,
so
that's
I've
very normal.
fucking clocked out after about 2008 in terms of music.
Yeah,
So
right. So do you
I've
listen
always
to
been
music?
a rock and roll fan.
Yeah.
Like proper fucking southern rock, American rock.
Oh.
Not so much your popular, fucking stadium rock, but proper good
Like who?
rock and folk.
Whom are you talking about?
I just talking
Rock
about
and
like
folk?
Leonard Skinner,
Yeah.
Black Crows, Blitzen Trapper, people like this. I fucking love it. It's great.
So what are you listening to at the moment? Anything or
No,
no?
I'm not. I'm getting.
Do you watch any of the bands at Falls or when you're doing these festivals? Do you watch?
Not particularly. No.
No.
Liam Gallagher's on the same run that we are, but didn't see him today. I might see him tomorrow.
I think he does some Oasis songs.
Yeah, I think he does, but he's got to pay his brother for them, so he doesn't do too
No,
many. He's got a new
yeah.
band, and
Yeah, apparently they've calmed down.
Oh, yeah.
They're not fighting as much.
oh no, they're still not talking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that can happen with brothers.
Yeah.
Well, I talk to all my brothers, but anyway.
So do I, but we used to beat the fuck out of each other. Like it just,
Yeah.
that's what you did.
Brothers. That's what
Double
brothers
bounce
do.
one off the trampoline once, didn't speak to me for fucking years.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, it's that sort of thing. Yeah.
And but occasionally you do meet people that don't speak to their brothers or sisters. You're
Yeah.
like, what's that about?
It's, well, I
Life's
don't know.
too short.
Yeah.
But what song should we play? I'm happy to play anything that you want.
Any song I want.
Yeah, any song.
Okay, well, in that case, Primal Scream's Country Girl.
Really?
Yeah.
Primal Scream.
Yeah.
Love Primal Scream. All right. Luke Heggie, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for
You
having
better
me.
get to the Holiday Inn. It's going to be a great night in there.
Bar's still open.
The bar's still open. Look, there's a bit of a party going on in there. Good luck with the rest of the gigs too. And
Thanks,
you can
man.
find Luke on Twitter. You're on Twitter?
Just vaguely. I'm
And-
I'm just live. Just going.
Just live. Just go and see him. He's doing all the festivals next year.
Yes.
We're doing all the Perth.
Perth,
Adelaide,
Sydney, Brisbane,
Melbourne.
Adelaide, Canberra, Melbourne.
All right, go and see him. It's well
Everywhere.
worth it.